Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a reading for the 1212 portal energies coming up. I don't even know what day it is today. I think the day I'm filming this is the 5th, so it's a little ways out, but I'm feeling the energies start to stabilize now. So, if you were watching my last few readings, I was talking a lot about sort of that like being in the washer and like energies moving around and kind of that like the ground falling out beneath us, right? Like a lot shifting, a lot being purged, a lot coming in. And so throughout that, I was having a lot of dreams that I've been sharing, and a lot of messages around and feelings, visceral feelings around being kind of transported into this new frequency, this new energy. And so and this feeling of groundlessness, okay, this feeling of groundlessness in it, where it's kind of, I was kind of thinking about this like when you're in that, let me think of how to say this, when you're in, that you're really on the point of creation, you're really on the point of something huge, where you feel a feeling of like absolute nothingness and everythingness all at the same moment, but the dominating energy usually in those moments, you probably have noticed, is like nothingness. Like you feel like there's this void, well, the void is creation, right? The void is the feminine, the void is the dark feminine, is what everybody is afraid of, what everybody kind of rejects, what all of society kind of shoves aside because we prefer the clarity. But when you're in that unknown, unformed place is when you're at the highest potential, and it's the time when it requires and pulls out the most, sorry, the lighting right now is a little weird, it pulls out the most faith and the most sort of like alignment out of us, because we have to reach for it, because we can't feel it. It's easy to feel aligned when you feel clear and everything's great and you're in your groove, but when everything is kind of falling apart and you feel that formlessness, you feel the shifting of the tides, and you just have to trust the great mother. You have to trust the formless, which in a society that's been, separated from the wisdom of the feminine, the cyclical nature of things, that kind of dark moon energy can be really, really feared and really uncomfortable, even for those of us that understand it and live it a lot of the time. So that's a lot of what I had been feeling the last few weeks, so during that time, there were a few nights, I kept seeing the 1212 number synchronicity. I just kept seeing it every day. I never missed it. And there was one night where I woke up, and it was one of those nights where I had to like remind myself of like who I was and where I was and what year it was and what planet I was on. And I looked at my clock, and it was 12:12, and I immediately heard the message, I guess. We're moving into the 12:12 portal. We're moving into the 12:12 energy now. And I think, I don't remember what day it was, but I remember later seeing people talking about the portal, and I think it was like the 29th of November, like the 11, that next 1111 number moving into the 1212 portal. Okay, so, but what it felt like to me energetically, and I am going to pull cards today on this, but what it felt like to me energetically was this feeling of stability, like a platform where it's like, here, climb up here, even though I was in the midst of like, the free fall, it was like the 1212 kind of appeared, and for a moment I was like, oh, okay, that's catching us. That's on the other end catching us. That was the feeling that I had in that liminal space, in the middle of the night, not knowing what planet I was on. So I really wanted to make time, it's many, many days early, but I wanted to make sure I had time to read into this energy because of that communication and the feeling of sort of reassurance and catching forward movement. So let's dive in and see what comes up today. I'm going to pull an overall energy for the 1212 energies coming up. I guess it's next week. Yeah, about a week from now. So let's see what we get here. Oh, okay. I haven't ever gotten this in a reading. Peacock spirit, let it shine. So what does that tell you? Let it shine. My gosh, what was I just talking about? Like, look at this. Here's that void space, that space where you're like, I don't know anything, and my ego is uncomfortable with that. But then it's like, there's that pure light, that unobstructed light that comes out, which is what we actually shine from. We shine when we completely surrender and we allow our God spark to flow through us in service to humanity, unrestrained, without pretense or trying or conniving, right? Just letting our God spark shine onto the earth. So what a beautiful message 6 and 46, that's a 10 number, so there's a completion number as well. Perhaps indicating that we are completing a bit of a something, but let's put these over here. Let's move into the tarot, see what else. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. I was just talking about completion. Here's the World card, completion, and look at what we're completing. The 5 of Pentacles. So here's the lack card that I can't have. Nothing ever works out. Oh my God, I'm losing everything and nothing will be replaced. Will be replaced by nothing. You know, some of the energies we can kind of go into when you're in that sort of like formless dark goddess space where everything is just, you know, being chopped to pieces and you're not really sure if anything's going to replace it because you're not feeling the energy of the birth. All you're feeling is the energy of the death, which it can't be any other way when you're in death energy. You're in death energy, but you understand the cyclical nature of things. This is a card of coming around, the cycle coming around, you know, to completion, you know, moving around to the end of the cycle, okay? Cycles, if you have ice in the spring, it melts, you know, the moon is full, and then eventually it wanes and it's new, you know. I mean, it's just the nature of reality here, that deep feminine wisdom, the deep feminine reality of the cyclical nature of things. So here we are, coming around the wheel, completing the cycle. I love that I was just saying that, of not having. We're moving out of this energy, okay, with the 12-12 portal, moving out of the energy of not having. And this could be an energy, this is probably talking larger and larger cycles too, because look at this card. It's like, you know, here's one, here's one, here's one, and then there's another bigger one, and here's one down here, and a reflection, and, you know, it's like all these layers upon layers. So, you know, completing this energy in terms of, you know, the last few weeks, you know, these purges, these recent purges we've been doing, but also completing it for, you know, your lifetime, completing it for lifetimes, completing it for humanity, cycles within cycles of completing this energy of I cannot have, I never have, I will not have, you know. That's sort of the consciousness of humanity in a way. I mean, it's like we can have, some of us can have in a linear sense where, you know, you hustle and you bring things, but can we have the full expression of our spirit here on earth, you know, in service to all? Can our God spark, is it allowed to come forth, you know, unobstructed? You know, that is the real, I think that is the biggest, you know, which this one, you know, the biggest one is the one for all of humanity, the liberation of our God code. Okay. So, I'm going to do the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. Hangman. All right, Hangman, let's get a clarifier for that. Why is that coming up? Can be a card of enlightenment, can be a card of being stuck. Oh, peoples. The world. The world. And this is like, look at this card. This is like the sexiest card I have, other than the devil in the Lightseers deck, but he's the masculine. He's like the sexiest masculine. So here she is. Look at her. My God, look at her shining. She is just complete. So we get the world twice. We get the world twice. I only have 5 cards on the table, and 2 of them are the world. So here she is, you know, she's done it all. She's completed it. She's in her glory. Here it is again. She's in her glory. She's ready to shine. She's completed. She's into a whole new thing. Okay, so that's another message. We're also completing being in this stuck energy, being hung up where we're not allowed to shine. We're not allowed to move forward in our own, you know, glorious God nature. We're no longer in this energy of lack and can't have because I'm wrapping up karmic cycles, or, you know, whatever. It just wasn't time yet. Whatever we were doing in these cycles that are now completing, we've kind of been on pause. We haven't really been able to move forward. But of course, there's a perfect design in that, because yeah, let's ask about that. Let's ask about what information wants to come through about, you know, what we've been doing while we've been held up in lack. What I was talking about in one of the last readings, my cats have been chewing on my cards, because I have had them in a, who cares? But look at that, just kitty love, kitty love. I've remedied the situation. It's not gonna be happening anymore. But like every card, I'm like, oh, there was Ponta chewing on the card. Okay. So anyway. I was talking about how a lot of the personal readings that I was doing were talking, or a couple of them were talking about kind of like the pulling back of the arrow, where we were in this lack energy, because this is the energy that was coming up in those readings, actually, because, it's expressed for a person, but it's also collective energies where you were kind of withheld from something. Maybe you were withheld from your spirit. Maybe you were withheld from your expression. Maybe you were withheld from your service, or just from your desires, or from a relationship, or whatever, and being held back from that, not able to do that. But in that space of being held back, there was a lot of alchemy going on, because it's kind of like, again, I was talking about the compression of the seed, where it's like, it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter until it pops, and then and you stay in there, you're held in there, you're held in that holding pattern until you gain enlightenment. This is the card of enlightenment. Until you alchemize, and until you realize whatever it is you need to realize in that, and just the beautiful perfection in that. But just so amazing. And actually, I just did a personal reading earlier today, and the World card came up in her reading as well. That's so interesting. So I guess we really are reaching a completion here. And again, this is for the 12-12 energy. So whatever we have going on, whatever your personal version of this is right now, we can know. I was going to pull a card about this. I was going to clarify it, but then it just came to me. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep moving on. But yeah, whatever your personal situation is right now with this, for me, it's like some weird body stuff that I have going on, where I've had this before, where you just kind of got to wait it out and let things alchemize. And that was actually what's coming up in the personal reading as well. So I love seeing all these parallels and all these sort of like collective things, because it's just that reminder that we're all doing this together, Whatever this is seems to be wrapping up around the 12-12. Probably starting now, because we are in that portal. But I love how that dream communication, or that nighttime communication, came through to me, where it's like we're in the portal now, and the energy really felt like, and then you're going to climb up on here, you're going to have something solid to stand on. You're not going to be in that formless free fall that a lot of us have really been feeling, which kind of reminds me of this too, where you're just kind of falling, and you're like, he's hung up by his toes, but in this one, it's also like you're just kind of falling, and just kind of trusting that, trusting the cyclical nature of things to land. And again, this is the completion. So, okay, let me pull some more cards, see what else it wants to say. I've already talked for 12 minutes. It's amazing. Okay, so Ace of Swords and the Page of Cups. So this is a card of clarity. This is a card of alignment. This is a card of synchronicity. These are like the days where, like, you see 111, you see 222, you think of somebody, they call you. It's like everything's in the flow. I'm not quite sure what this one is saying yet, so let me pull. I'm actually going to pull from an oracle deck and see what message wants to come through here. I'm noticing there's a little, like a lightning. I've never noticed this before. These are lightning bugs. Is that what they're called? I used to live in Pennsylvania, and we had lightning bugs. We don't have them in New Mexico, but we would have them, and they're lit up all around. Okay. Oh my God, it's like the communication's so cool. So I understand what this means now. So the Page of Cups is a very childlike energy. It's very innocent. This reminds me of my childhood. I think that's why it caught my eye, to help me understand that card. Because it's like we used to just go out, and the magic of like all the lightning bugs, and we would catch them. And I'm sure any of you that live in the area with lightning bugs do the same exact thing, or have done the same exact thing, or do it with your kids. But just the innocence, and that feeling, it's almost kind of like a Christmas feeling too, where you're just like, oh wow, just the magic that's right there in that physical realm. Like, how do these little bugs light up? It's all dark, and you see one over there, and then you see one over there, and then, oh my God, you catch it, and it's lighting up in your hand. And that's the energy of the Page of Cups. And I think that's saying something right now. Part of this alignment, part of this clarity, part of the synchronicity really flushes through for us when we're in that childlike. What was that? I just saw this meme on Facebook. I liked it so much. I forget what it was. I didn't save it. It was something like the best thing you can do as an adult is to become a child again, or something like that. And I feel like that's kind of the energy of this, where it's like, just kind of that advice as we, or maybe this will be how we're feeling in the 12-12 energy, or it could be, and I'll clarify this, it could be how to best make use of this energy, being in that sort of place of wonder, that place of just like beginner's mind. Oh, well, that makes sense too, because if we're completing a cycle and we're in a new, we're in a new space, and look, even the shine your light, let it shine, like the lightning bug, right? Shining up from our hearts. Like we are those lightning bugs, just going around shining our light for people to be like, wow, look, there's one over here, and there's one over here, and there's another one, lighting up the world with our magic. What was I going to say? I don't remember, but that was a nice message. And so, yeah. Oh, I guess it was maybe the advice. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. So if we've completed a cycle and and therefore we're in a new cycle, if we're wrapping up this stuff, then, how do we move forward into this new? Well, the new really seems to be this sort of like childlike open beginner's mind. That's what I was going to say. The beginner's mind where, like, we're not in this space anymore, so we're in a new space, so we're open, we're receptive, we don't have to feel like we know anything, and we actually just got a lot of practice with that, with this sort of like falling in the void of not having and not knowing, where you really surrender. And the alchemy, part of the alchemy that happens in that is you're like, I don't know anything, and I'm okay not knowing, because then I'm in this place of discovery, in this place of being able to receive, in this place of being able to not only shine my light, because like what I was saying here, it's like, you're not trying to do anything. You're not doing things out of old energy or regurgitating old habits. You really are letting things flow through you. Look at how this is like truly flowing through him. That's the energy of the child as well. You just go out and you play, and you allow the synchronicities to guide you. You allow, you allow the synchronicities to guide you. You pay attention to what has that spark, that light up, that lightning bug energy, and it's like, oh, that's where the magic is. That's where I'm gonna go. Like in the what was it? The movie? The movie. Lots of movies have this, right? Where the flowers light up, and then they just like follow the flower, and they follow the flower, and they follow the magical flower, and it leads them to like the in the fairy tales, it leads them to the whatever it is that they're supposed to find. It's kind of like that, right? Like this is how we're walking this new path. But I feel like, because we're reading into the energies of 1212, that this is kind of the energy that we're going to be in, because again, completing that cycle of this stuff, being back in, because I know we felt this before, with that sort of like fresh, like higher frequency energy. We've been in a little bit of density. A lot of us have been in a lot of density, clearing off stuff, but also activating. And so now getting to live, I think, and this was coming up in one of the readings too, like when we're in this energy and we're stuck and we're held back for a really long time, when they are allowed to move, when you do click into this, the completion, and all of a sudden you're in that fresh new space, it's like you get to discover how much alchemy you actually did in here. Because again, all you could feel here was the death energy. But once the rebirth energy starts to go, you get to see how much you've changed. Have you ever had that? Of course you have, where you go through, a trial, and then, maybe you like don't go out for a while because you're just dealing with yourself, or you're helping yourself or somebody heal or whatever it is, or you're just doing stuff, and then you go back out into the world and you start doing things that you used to do that you haven't done in a while, and you're like, oh my god, I'm responding completely differently, like I'm just like, I'm a different person. You get to discover that you're a different person. So that was really coming up in that one reading, and I feel like there's also a bit of this energy here, where just rediscovering who you are, rediscovering through the greater amount of magic and lightning sparks that we're going to start seeing around this time next week, is what I'm feeling. Okay, so let me pull a goddess card and see what else. Such a lighthearted message. I just can't believe I had the world card 3 times today, once in that other message, and it was such good news, because it was like kind of a heavy topic, and a topic that I relate to as well, and then like there came that world card, and then it's just like driving it home even more. 2 world cards, like we really are wrapping up, recapping because it's so exciting. We really are wrapping up these, like, kind of like caged in energies. And again, they have their purpose. And we are going to notice how we're, how we're just different, I know I'm just repeating myself, but just reveling in it, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful energy. The world twice. Wow. Oh, okay. Demeter, nurturer. So look at her. She's so beautiful. She's so feminine. She's so nurturing. Let me pull another card to see why this is coming up. Well, it's kind of the energy that I've been feeling where I'm like, oh my God, it feels so good. Let me just talk about it again. It's like really being nurtured. Okay. I think that this energy, the 1212 energy, what is the card number 11? Okay. I think this energy is going to feel really nurturing to us, like kind of almost like a reward. My kitty cat's up there, you can't see her. Almost like a reward for, just like hanging in there through this, hanging in there through that free fall, hanging in there through that sort of crunch and that lack and that dark space, where when things start to pop on, we're going to feel really nurtured. And again, kind of that, again, like what I was saying, that discovering that we're in a different space, we're going to see how it was all worth it. We're going to feel really nurtured and really held by the goddess, because there's the dark goddess, lots of different faces of the moon, right? There's the dark moon, there's the new moon that brings newness and gifts, there's the full moon that shines, it's like we have the Kali energy that just kind of like, Queen of Swords tears you to shreds, and like, the feminine aspect of us that just, when you're bleeding, Shark Week, where you're just like, no, it's when you set all your boundaries and nobody can walk all over you, But then there's the mother, then there's the mothering aspect of the feminine energy, and then of course there's the sensual feminine energy that, where is she? This one. Look at her. Yes, we have them all. And the dark feminine, the dark goddess being the one that is least embraced, she's the least accepted. And yet she's the one, that knows. She knows. It's the harsh mother that's like, you need to do this. You need to look at this, or no, you're not allowed to do that. You can't get away with that, because she knows that, in order for you to get to this sparking, this shine, this spark within yourself, and this completion, that you have to have moments where you're grounded. You're just grounded. You gotta face this shit. Whatever it is, you gotta go through your trials. You gotta eat your bowls of shit, as my one friend says. And so, but then the nurturing mother comes. She comes, and because she always comes back around. The feminine is cyclical. She's not just one thing. She's many things, and she cycles around. Just like this, she cycles around. After she's harsh, she's kind, she's loving, she lets you know she loves you. And so I think that's some of the energy that we can expect as well. I didn't pull from the Light Seers deck. Let's see what we get with this. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, hold on. I dropped a card. And it's a good card. So we get the Page of Swords and the Two of Cups. So here's a card of alignment with self, union with self, but union without, a union of the polarities, the masculine and the feminine polarities, the left and the right brain, the dark and the light, the in and the out, the up and the down, the union. They're balanced. They're balanced. Okay, and so here's the Page of Swords. This is like, in this deck in particular, it's kind of like new ideas, right? You have new ideas. You're like, yeah, you're just maybe you have more access to yourself, to, because she's looking through a book. This always reminds me of the Akashic Records, where, you can kind of, you kind of can understand things. Are you noticing this? I'm noticing this, where all of a sudden I just know more. Like I just know more. It might be an issue or a topic or a person or a situation where I kind of like knew it to a certain degree, but all of a sudden I have like these, just like this, like these ideas where like all of a sudden I can just like read the book. It's like the scroll has opened, it just kind of rolls in front of me and I can just understand it, right? It's like there's a new level of perception, a new level of understanding. I'm feeling that. I can't think of an example right now, but a lot of times it kind of happens in the middle of the night for me, where I wake up and all of a sudden I just know something. And I feel like one of them was about animals, something about animals. Yeah, it's just like things that, yeah, or even like things that like I wasn't able to do before, that I just, or like that I wasn't doing, or that I felt kind of stuck on. All of a sudden it's so obvious what to do. It's like, why was I so stuck? It's like, well, you were stuck because you were completing a cycle, but the cycle's loosening. We're coming to the end of it. This could be now, but definitely for the 12/12 next week, it's like we're coming to the end of that cycle. So it's like we're able to open a book again. So this is what I was talking about with where is it? Where to go? Yeah, this kind of energy where we start to discover new things about ourselves. Okay, so that's kind of a repeat message where it's like all of a sudden you have more of your kosh, you have more of your codes, you can read them, you just have more access to them. I was talking about that in the activating our dormant codes. It's like all of a sudden there's just more available. You have more of yourself to go with. So and that's what I was saying in that other one. Your point of attraction is going to be different. You're going to be guided differently. You're going to have those synchronicities that lead you. Different things are going to be coming in because you have more. What a great card for that. You have more things active in your auric field. There are more things lit up, which allow more things to come in. So coming out with the Two of Cups. So this might be a time when like sacred unions are starting to land. It could be because as we have that unity within ourselves and we've completed these cycles, these, karmic cycles or whatever they are, whatever it was we were wrapping up, now that we're done with that, we come into, and we're into that union and that balance within ourselves. We can start to, if there is kind of like a partnership in the wings for you, whether you've met the person or not, or even if you're with someone you might find greater unity, greater harmony, because the outer world is going to be a reflection of your inner world. Okay, so that's really beautiful. Let me pull from the Secret Language of Light Tarot. I think a couple fell out. Let's see if I want to take all these. Oh yeah. Okay, so we get nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. It's all for us, by us. All the alchemy that we need to complete cycles, which we are in spades because we got them. We got it twice today, plus in that personal reading, which is just validating it even more. Very much a collective movement, okay? No matter what this is, no matter how sticky it feels, you are completing it. You are completing something. You're completing something, not just like a cycle within your life, like some issue that you've been having. You're completing something really, really big. All of humanity is completing something really, really big. And each of us completing these issues within ourselves is adding to the collective. It's almost like, okay, here's your, your personal completion, and then it adds to the collective completion, where we really are moving into this other energy. So again, nothing has gone wrong. Everything is in service to the light, no matter what it is. That's on the world scale too. All of it is in service to the light. All of it is about cracking that seed so that we can access our divine light and shine it, all of us, like little lightning bugs, sparking up the world. This is all of us. And so the other card we get is remembrance. So remembrance, of course, we're remembering why we're here. This is another 11 card. Where was the other one? 11. I know this is a 12-12 reading, but we are getting 11s, 21, and 10 completion. Didn't we get another 10? Anyway, okay, I get curious about numbers, but yeah, so anyway, remembrance, right? Remembrance. So 11 being that portal, that make-a-wish. We're remembering why we're here. This is the time when everything we've been working for is landing, okay? Everything we're working for is landing. That feeling of safety and nurturance and held in the arms of the goddess, because it's like everything's right in the world. Nothing is wrong. Everything is right in the world, and things truly are coming into completion. We truly are making movement. I know when we're stuck in this energy, we can go into that nihilism. That's what I was talking about last time with like the crying game energy, where you're like slinking down the shower, where you're just like, I knew that I would never, ever, ever, and it's like, that's just how it feels. That's how it feels when you're doing those alchemies, but it's all part of it, and remembering that it's all part of it, because everything is cyclical. That beautiful divine feminine remembering what the truth of reality is, which is cyclical. There's light and there's dark. There's times of harvest. There's times of loss. There's times of, and that all of it is just part of this beautiful play in this world of duality. We have to have all of it in order to have balance. In order to create in this realm, we have to have light and dark. It's the spark. And so here we get soul craft. Speaking of spark, look at that spark, the soul craft. Here it is again. This is this coming out of us, sharing our light, the lightning bugs, sharing our light, our soul craft in service, whatever we're contributing to on the planet, even if that's just showing up and being authentic in our day as we water our plants and smile at the neighbors, or don't smile at the neighbors because that's our authenticity on that day, or whatever it is. It's like just bringing forth the true version of ourselves, the true version, which we are accessing, which we have accessed through these crunchy moments, through the suspension, through the pulling back of the arrow, the not having. So like what Abraham Hicks will say, the not having, the creating the contrast to help us know that what we want, so that we can, in that desire, those rockets of desire, pull towards us what we're actually here for, what we're here for, which is really just to shine our light, to be able to be free, to be the divine beings that we are, unrestricted, unrestricted, without the old stories of lack and victim, and allowing these synchronicities and this childlike play to come through. Oh, I'm at 30 minutes, so I think I'll end there. That's a beautiful beautiful message to end on. I'm getting all these notifications, but yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for listening and joining me today. I think I'm in a really good mood. I think I'm in like a much better space than I was in those last readings, where I was just really honestly sharing, about this kind of stuff. But definitely feeling a shift in the energies, and so we have this. You're probably feeling it too. Messages. You're probably feeling it too, but lots to look forward to, feeling this shifting, and just a beautiful message of encouragement if you're not feeling it yet. Again, the World card twice. So, all right, much love to you all. Thank you for being here on this journey, for all of your dedication to your light, your dedication to staying connected even in these times, and just that remembrance that we're all in this together, and we're all creating this whole new world, stepping forward in our childlike wonder, and following the lightning bugs, following the sparks, which is really ourselves and each other. So much love to you. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.